please. Item 2 is received and approved minutes from the November 2nd meeting.
So moved.
Any questions, comments, corrections? Okay. Those approving? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes carry. Thank you. Items for consideration.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and committee members. We have 4 items for your consideration today. Number 3A, combination of all the funding requests you see there are from a 2000 bond authorization, bridge unlisted, bridge interest, bridge listed fund that are declared surplus, combining to $500,000 that we like to allocate to a project that is under bridge proposition. This is on Midwest Boulevard, northeast 59th Street in Ward number 7. The bridge is actually, as you see, it's on your screen in the middle part of the screen, but the bridge is not the issue. The approach to the bridge and the tremendous amount of erosion and drainage problems that we've been having. As you see, the river, Canadian River, comes around, loops around, parallels the road, and then goes under the bridge to the other side. We have had some emergency repair because at one time it was eating up at the bank where we could have lost the street. So a project that is fixing the drainage problems is under construction right now. Because this is jurisdictions by U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, it's a navigable or rivers, and we have a 404 permit that is mandated that we do measures to reduce the erosion and fix the drainage problem at this location. So there's 2 contracts. One contract for permanently stabilize the bank is underway. Basically, I don't want to get too technical for you, but basically the measures we are using are what we call a toe protection, and also they are stone seals that are keyed into the river bank in order to reduce erosion. The second contract that basically reduces the drainage in the long term uses planting of live willows, and I have a picture for you to show you. These are the live willow stakes, we call them, and they are planted by the bank river, and they will grow and reduce the erosion. We have 1.5 acres that we will be planting these along the river bank, also which will be over 11,000 stakes if you want a number. Also, we have to plant a lot of trees along the top of the bank, and that covers about 2.5 acres, and about 455 trees will be planted on top of the bank. And if we go back to the previous map, all along that bank we will be planting live willows and trees, and that will be basically reducing the erosion for the long term. And the funds are needed because the bids that came in was only 1 bid, and it came way over our budget. So after re-looking at the plans, engineer redid the plans. We looked at the different vendors, and at the time that we bid this, probably several vendors were very busy with projects, so they are indicating that they will be bidding this upon re-advertisement of projects. So we are hoping to get a better bid this time, and hopefully we wouldn't need to use as much as $500,000, but that's what we are requesting. Any questions I can accommodate?
The trees are for the erosion or for just the, what's up there?
Well, the willows are the primary, and the other one is the secondary for the trees to grow and give a good vegetative cover, so the erosion is reduced.
Any other questions?
Make a motion to approve.
Those approving, aye. Aye. Those opposed, aye. No? Okay.
All right. Item B, basically we are cleaning up some funds from the 2005 refunding bond issue that was originally 1995 GO bond. We had the central maintenance facility expansion that was originally built on the site at Southwest 15th Street and Portland Avenue. That's the maintenance operations center for the city of Oklahoma City. There is available monies, $81,026 from the refunding, and also $342.60 from refunding bond in issue of interest, a combination of $81,369 almost that we like to allocate to the current project in 2007 bond, which is a central maintenance facility expansion project. It is in several phases, and I have a photo rendering showing you what those phases are. Phase 1 is under construction, and you see it in a diagram that has one on the north side right there. It's going to be a maintenance crew room that is under construction. We have two other phases. One is complete, and it's called Phase 2A, which was basically on the south side, clearing the site for the building projects, and that's done. We have a building project, which is Phase 2B, and that will be bidding and hopefully awarding in February of this next year, building those facilities. And we have another phase, Phase 3 we call it, and that it will be building that administrative building right there. And then there's a Phase 4, as you see some buildings there that are for future. We have not designed those projects yet. To give you some statistics, the land area is 67 acres, and 25 acres is developed so far, and the other 42 are undeveloped. Right now, we have 11 existing buildings on site, and with the additional buildings that I mentioned, there'll be 9 more buildings that will be added on the site, which will be total 20, and the square footage area of the buildings will increase from 128,000 to 228,000, or it'll be almost double as much space as it is existing out there. The total in the 2007 bond for the entire expansion was $20.1 million. Any questions I can accommodate?
Any questions?
So the 21 million's already been approved, and so it's being done in phases?
Yes.
This is
It is the proposition of, we haven't sold the Phase 4 yet, but Phase 4 is probably be sold in 2017.
2017?
Yes.
For the extra building?
For the future, yes, Phase 4 we call it.
Any other questions, comments?
Move we approve.
Okay. Second? Do I hear a second? Yes. Thank you, John. Those approving, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Carries.
All right, item C, we are requesting $1.5 million from the 2007 GEO bond authorization Enlisted street project funds to be used for a project on Oklahoma City Boulevard project. This is for the western portion of the boulevard from Western Avenue to Penn Avenue. The shaded green area that you see on your map, including with those projects that are indicated in there, that area was a listed bond project for in the 2007. As you see, the western portion was unfunded, and the reason for it is that when the bond was put together, ODOT had not finalized the Boulevard project, so this portion of it was not put in there. So in order to fund that portion, the $1.5 million will be toward the landscaping of that section. Boulevard project is being constructed by Oklahoma Department of Transportation, and it basically follows the old I-40 footprint from the eastern terminus of I-235 and 40 all the way to the I-40 44 junction. And western portion of it is partly complete. East portion is under construction by ODOT, and the mid portion will be in 2 contract packages that will be bid by ODOT next year. So once that construction is complete, the city is responsible for doing the landscaping of that project. And we have some photo rendering. We don't know how this is going to all look like. We have interviewed consultants, and we will be negotiating with consultants to be hired to design the Boulevard project and how it would look like as far as landscaping. But these are some of the renderings that I can share with you of how it may look like.
Any questions? Comments?
Who's responsible for the ongoing maintenance of the landscape that's
Excuse me, I didn't hear you well.
Who's responsible for the ongoing maintenance of the landscaping that will be put in?
After the city will be responsible for maintenance. It will be the right-of-way will be conveyed to the city of Oklahoma City, and the city will be maintaining the boulevard. It will be a city maintained project, be owned by the city.
Any other questions, comments? Do I hear a motion? Second?
Second.
Thank you. Those approving, aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. It's carried.
All right, item D, we are requesting $25,000 in the 2007 GEO bond unlisted traffic funds to be put in a project called TC-0249. This is a railroad crossing safety improvement project, which is a joint project. Basically, several agencies are involved. Federal Railroad Administration is involved, Oklahoma Department of Transportation. And usually on these type of crossings that need signalization and fixing the crossing, federal aid is about 5%, and the state puts up 85%, and railroad puts up 10% of the street construction cost. The city is responsible for 10% of signalization for these type of projects, which are averaging about $30,000 to $35,000 per location. Every year, the crossings that have safety issues are examined by the state, federal, and the city, and they are put in a list of prioritization. The process for this type of project takes a while. From the time we sign an agreement with the Oklahoma Department of Transportation, usually it takes about 9 to 12 months before a crossing is under construction. We do have currently $77,000 in the project available, so with this $25,000, that would be sufficient for 3 crossing upgrades. So we will be pursuing those as we go along. Any questions?
Are there other, I mean, this covers 3 crossings. Are there other upgrades anticipated in the near future, or how is that determined?
It depends.
Women's show at the Civic Center.
It varies every year. On average, we've been able to do 1 or 2 crossings a year in the past. So, but 3 crossings is possible.
Any other questions? Comments? Do I hear a motion? Second? Those approving, aye. Any opposed? Thank you. It's carried. Now we're to the information. Yes. And will he do the information? Oh, okay. Okay. Clint Putnam will present the first informational item for us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you'll notice on your screen, in Section 1 in the top left corner, our month of November activity was $326,000, and our year-to-date activity is $10.7 million for contracts awarded. Our expenditures year-to-date are $14.2 million. If you refer to box 2 in the top right corner, for the sale year of 2013, we're 72% of the proceeds, spending the proceeds, which is pretty, we're pretty close to achieving our 85% goal. Section 3, in the middle of your screen, contracts advertised and expected to award for December are $1.4 million. The 3-month outlook, as you can see, in November we have $7.7 million expected, December 8.4, and we expect for January to have 3.9 with an overall advertising total of $21.4 million. If you'll refer to the graph, if you have your report, you can see below. Right now, we're significantly below our target, but considering the contract activity in box 3, our advertising outlook will be significantly closer to our goal by the end of January. Do we have any questions or comments?
Yeah. Okay, the January goal was about 50 million. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And even by the end of January, we're still only going to, hang on, I'm getting this right. We're still only going to be about 21. Is that correct?
We're going to be at around 31.
About 31, okay. Did I miss the math there? Hang on. November, December, January. Okay, 31. I'm not sure I follow that, but I understand. Okay, so we're still $20 million behind. Okay, touch on that, because this is always this kind of a, as Dennis knows, this is a pet peeve of mine.
Yes.
That
Well,
we
let me
have
explain
difficulty
the best
getting
as I
work
can.
out.
Before we set the fiscal year goal, based on the readiness of the projects, we put, projects in different schedule per month, and we try to have a monthly goal as well. But there are many factors that makes the projects not, make the award. Sometimes you open bids and you are over the budget. We have had those situations. You only get one bid and, it's not competitive. You have to reject the bid. There are issues with right-of-way or utilities on the projects that snags and, you slip the award. So there's several of these have caused us to be under the target, but we are moving. Starting in January, we have a plan to, award several projects, and we have some projects in contingency to make sure that our goal of 70 million is met by the end of fiscal year.
But of those issues that you're having problems with, what would you say, if you had to pick one, is the most significant problem in getting the work out?
Significantly in the past has been utilities.
Utility relocation.
Utility relocations.
Okay. So not vendor participation.
Right.
Okay.
But also recently we have had issues where the projects are coming over the budget.
And I would say that's vendor participation problem.
Not every project, but there are projects that whether there's not enough contractors bidding for it, or there's something that they feel like they have to bid it much higher.
Okay.
That's and it's sporadic. It's not to any specific category.
Okay.
But every year almost we deal with this, where we try to catch
I know it's hard.
catch
It is
up,
hard. And that's not your guys' fault. I mean, I know it's not. So.
and last year at this point we were also we were below target, but we had contingency projects lined up and started working on them, and we met our goal of 70 million. And we are doing the same plan this year, and hope it works.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, the informational item number B. We are almost through half of the fiscal year, so we thought to share with you some of the projects that we completed since July 1st of 2015. So far, we have finally accepted 15 projects, and the total of those final contract amount is $42.1 million. The initial award were $41.6 million. So as you see, we are doing very well on our amendment change orders. They are below 2%, which is very good. We had 11 street projects, 2 drainage projects, and 2 buildings projects. And this is just an estimate. It could be more or less. We are anticipating 25 more projects to be finally accepted before June 30th of 2016. To just give you an idea, currently we have about 65 active construction projects in bond. The citywide there's a lot more, but just the bond projects are 65. Just show you some selected projects that we finished. First off is a drainage project. We have a unit price drainage contract that we repair different location in the city based on the priority. One that you see the photos of is at 744 Southeast 25th Street. We closed it in September, and this particular project was about $14,500. The one below it, we had some drainage improvements at the Oklahoma River Agnew area, bank stabilization and riprap. We closed it in October, and it was almost $31,000 for that job. Next one was also at Oklahoma River, South May Avenue. Again, we had some erosion control and drainage improvements. We closed it in October, and it was almost $114,000 for this one. Next is a new building project, Lincoln Park Golf Clubhouse. We finally accepted it back in August. The total cost was $7.6 million. $2.2 million came from the 2007 bond, and the rest came from the park's revenue bonds. So it turned out to be a very nice building, as you see some of the interior and exterior photos. Next, there's a street project, a widening project on Wilshire Boulevard from Council Road to County Line. We accepted it back in September. The final price tag was $4.3 million. The length of it was 1.1 mile, and one of the issues there was, the area is so flat, the drainage cost and storm sewer was very high for this location. The next one is Northwest 192nd Street widening up north in Ward 8 from Pennsylvania Avenue all the way to east city limits, which is east of Western Avenue. We finally accepted it in August. Final price tag $7.5 million. It had two intersections, signalized intersection of Pennsylvania Avenue and Western Avenue, and total length was 1.8 miles, including the legs at the intersection and the entire length of 192nd Street. Next one is Hefner Road widening, and that's from North Kelly to Northeastern. It had the signalized intersection of Kelly and Hefner Road. We accepted it in November. Final price tag $4.8 million. Next is a Streetscape project or a reconstruction on Northwest 23rd Street from Tulsa to Ann Arbor. Basically, that was pavement repair, mill and overlay, sidewalk on both sides, and some lights. It cost $2.9 million, and we accepted it in November. And one of the major intersections here was at Meridian and Northwest 23rd. Another phase is close to finish, which is west of this location. And we will be finally accepting that in a couple of months. And another area is the residential street resurfacing. This is one that we closed in October. Price tag was $1.6 million, and the area was the northeast quadrant of an area that was bounded by Kelly Avenue, Martin Luther King Boulevard, Northeast 23rd Street, and Northeast 10th Street. And again, there are some photos of the improvement. Well, I think that's the end. Any questions I can accommodate?
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. Move on to new business. Do you have anything? And any items from the, then to items from the committee members? Anyone? Okay. Citizens to be heard. Move for adjournment.
Make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we adjourn and let everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Second. Here a second. Yeah. Thank you, John. Those approving? Aye. Thank you. No opposed.